little on a Wednesday and enjoy music more. But we will make this exception because what we need to do is have a sensational discussion with our guest this morning. I told you already we would be hanging out with the Chinese ambassador to Kenya, and she's in studio with me, and I guess this is the right moment to welcome her. Her Excellency Ambassador Guo Haiyan is in Capital FM studios, and she is about to have an interesting conversation. I told you again, we're about to have fun. She's new in Kenya. We're still letting her feel her way around, get used to the issues. So what we're doing today is just getting to know each other, hang out, have some fun, enjoy the great music that DJ Schwaz is playing, and just get to know her a bit more, because she was in the country earlier this year. She'll tell us when exactly and what she's seen and her experience in Africa, if she's had any at all. And then we can just go on from there and have a conversation, have ourselves some fun. So, Your Excellency, first and foremost, welcome to Capital in the Morning, and thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Asante sana, and try habari subuhi.
Right? Love it, love it. So you're already getting that Swahili exercise in. Which brings me to my first question. I mean, I'm wondering how long you've actually been in Kenya, and if you have any experience in Africa.
I arrived this January, so I've been here for 6 months now. How time flies. Yeah. It is not my first time to Kenya. As a career diplomat, most of my working experience is related to Africa. I have visited over 30 African countries, including Kenya, and I've worked in South Africa in early days for 4 years. So I know Kenya is a dream place for a diplomat.
Yeah.
So before I came, I think I've been here for some short visit for 4 times already. I love Africa, so I'm very happy to be back to Africa, and I'll try my best to fulfill my duties, to make my own contribution to China-Kenya relations.
Oh, we'll be delving into that one very well. You've been in Africa for some time. Which is your favorite African country?
Everyone.
I knew you'd have to be diplomatically correct.
I know. I tell you that Kenya is a dream place for Chinese diplomat. Yeah, so I'm the lucky one.
Well, we're lucky to have you here in studio. How's your experience been so far? I mean, in terms of your professional experience in Kenya, and what surprised or delighted you the most since you got here?
I'm really enjoying my stay here, both work and life. As I mentioned, I've been here before. My last visit to Kenya was in. I can see there's an obvious change. For example, when I arrived at the airport, it used to take 2 hours to the downtown, but now only 20 minutes. And I can see there's more skyscrapers in the line, and life is more convenient. What unchanged is the pleasant weather and the friendly people. Yeah, I even got some gifts. The gifts, it's my portraits, drawn by local students. I'm very touched, moved, and it make me feel very at home.
You seem at home as well, because just recently I was checking out your social media, and I saw a post about hiking on the Ololua Nature Trail with your colleagues. How was that experience for you? And is it something you enjoy, outdoor activities?
Really enjoyed. My colleagues and local friends, they have recommended many places to me. Among them is this trail. We went there, I think Sunday morning. We are told we can do hiking and biking there, but we arrived there too early to get the bicycle, so we did hiking. We really enjoyed the fresh air, the beautiful natural environment. And it's there's so many such places in Kenya. I've went to some places during weekend or holidays with colleagues, and it's really nice to have some coffee at a cafe deeply seated in the forest. Yeah, it's very comfortable. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So you've gone to a few different places in Kenya. Is there somewhere that you maybe haven't been that you're looking or hoping to explore?
Many places. So because Kenya has a variety of ethnic culture, magnificent natural landscape, and a rich wildlife resources. So since I came here, I've been to a few counties. For example, the Homa Bay, Kisumu, Kisii, Kiambu, and so on. So I believe each county has its distinct attraction. Yeah. So maybe my next stop will be the coastal part. Yeah, because that's where and has a historical connection with China. I heard that. I think many people know that over 600 years ago, a gentleman called Admiral Mr. Zheng He lead a fleet to they arrived in East Africa, in Malindi and Mombasa. And I heard that now some Chinese porcelain from hundreds of years ago still kept at some museum there. And I heard about the ancient city of Gerdi.
Yeah.
Am I right? Gerdi? Yeah. So I hope I can have a trip there. I look forward to experience it in person. Yeah. So a lot of things are waiting for me.
Yeah, and we're glad now. It's just the beginning. You'll explore Kenya, and you'll have a lot of fun.
I still have time.
We have plenty of time. Speaking of time, you've had time to interact with so many people so far in this country. What stood out for you most about Kenyan people and their culture? Because I know just recently we had a whole cultural event where Chinese troupe was actually performing. So what have you learned from Kenyan people and the culture?
I know Kenya is one of the origin of humankind, one of the cradles of humanity. Like China, Kenya is multi-ethnic country, and there's many things can show us the culture. I love the stone carving, the wood carving, the weaving, the pottery. There's many things, and Kenya has a large young population. They are brimming with vitality, and I found that Kenyan people, they have a remarkable talent for languages. Some local people told me usually a Kenyan can speak 4 languages: the Swahili, the English, the mother tongue, the father tongue, like that.
Yeah.
And quite some Kenyan, they are learning Chinese. Recently, I was invited to the Nairobi City Marathon. It's very interesting experience for me. The first time, yeah. I also ran a short distance, but because I'm not ready for a long distance. So that day, I saw there were more than 17,000 people, participants. They're from over 70 countries. It's truly a spectacular thing. I'm thinking that the Kenyan people are just like these runners on the expressway, unswervingly pursuing their own well-being and happiness.
It's interesting you should bring up the marathon, because that's the first place I saw you. That's the first place I met you.
Yes.
I was seeing that. And it just really impressed me that you were interested in the running. And just it had me thinking, what else does an ambassador do on her free time? What are the other interests that she may have when she's not, dealing with diplomatic issues? What do you like to do?
To be frank, I spend most of my time at work, but I also enjoy my spare time. I like to go to the shops or market to buy flowers.
Oh.
Both fresh or dried flowers are so beautiful, and even sometime I will do a dry flower by myself, and the flowers of Kenya are world renowned. Kenya is exporting flower to China, and even the vases here are very interesting, beautiful, and so creative. I also I've bought some vases for my flowers. I hope that our relations will also bloom and bear more fruits like these flowers. And occasionally, I like to sing karaoke with my colleagues at the embassy. So I think once or twice a month, we will have this small party, with colleagues,
Which is interesting. You should say that because here on Capital in the morning, my co-host is not here. Hilarious. You would have enjoyed meeting her, but she's been somewhere else. Chamber of Commerce, they're launching something, so she's there. But we do this thing where we sing karaoke, right? And we do a horrible job at it. I can tell you that. We hope you're a better singer than us. Do you, though? Just yesterday, I think, we sang a Swahili song, which is from Necessary Noise. It's a local group that's been very big. And now that you mention it, I'm wondering, do you sing any Swahili songs, maybe?
I'm learning. I just learned a few Swahili words. Yeah.
Okay.
So up to now, I'm sorry, I cannot sing a complete Swahili song, but I know a Chinese song. It's interesting. Part of the lyrics are in Swahili.
Oh.
That is an interesting story. The name of the song is Amani. Amani. Only when I came to Kenya, I know Amani is a Swahili word. And the background of this song is closely related to Kenya. It is a rock song written by Beyond, a famous music band from Hong Kong. The band visited Kenya in 1991. At that time, the Gulf War just ended. And the whole world is calling for peace and relieving poverty. So the band visited Kenya and wrote this song to call for peace and support for African refugees and children. They wrote this song drawing on what they saw, what they heard and felt during the trip. And the theme of this song is consistent with China's foreign policy of peace and has far-reaching influence. This song is still popular even today after over 30 years. And nowadays, the situation in Middle East has been tense and bloody conflicts occur every day. I sincerely hope that the relevant countries can achieve a ceasefire and restore peace through dialogue and consultation as early as possible. Also, many African countries are still fighting poverty, and people, including children, are still facing shortage of food and clothes. China has been making positive efforts to promote peace and eliminate poverty in relevant regions. So I'd like to sing a few lines of the Swahili lyrics of Amani in the hope that it will draw more attention to the issue of peace and poverty and gather more strength to resolve this problem. Can I start?
Yes, go ahead. We'd love to hear it.
I try my best. Amani nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. Tunataka wiwi amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi.
I gotta join you in this one. Can we do that one more time? Because now you just got my singing spirit all up. All right, I know the lyrics. Let's go.
Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. tunataka wiwi amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi.
Absolutely, the silky voice of Ambassador Guo Haiyan with the jam Amani from Beyond. Sounds like a great jam, so why don't you and I enjoy the song itself, and we'll be back with Ambassador as we delve further into getting to know her and the Kenya-China relations.
主宰世上一切，他的歌唱出愛，他的真理遍佈這地球。他怎麼一去不返？他可否會感到烽煙掩蓋天空與未來，無助與冰凍的眼睛，流淚看天際帶悲憤。是控訴戰爭到最後，傷痛是兒童。我向世界呼叫Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. Tunataka wiwi Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. 天空可見飛鳥，驚慌展翅飛舞，穿梭天際只想覓自由。心千億火海心碎，今天一切厄困，彷彿真理消失在地球，無助與冰凍的眼睛，流淚看天際帶悲憤。是控訴戰爭到最後，傷痛是兒童。我向世界呼叫Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. Tunataka wiwi Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. 世界呼叫Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. Tunataka wiwi Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. Amani, nakupenda, nakupenda wiwi. 再次呼叫Amani, Amani。
There's a jam that has caught my attention, Beyond Amani. And it brings us to 31 minutes past the hour. That's 29 minutes to 9 o'clock. And I think it's the right time for us to delve into the world of sports. We'll be back with the ambassador as we further this conversation, not only getting to know her, but also getting to understand the relations between China and Kenya.
Baby.
Yo, when the sun sets, the hype rises. Straight from the concrete jungle of New York to the streets of Nairobi. Your girl, Wanjira Longar, is bringing that raw energy 4 nights a week. Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m. We're serving up that premium hip-hop lifestyle. This is The Hype, where culture meets class. But wait, we ain't done.
Another one.
Fridays, that's when we hit you with the big bounce. 2 hours of non-stop fire, where Capital's Elite Squad turn your speakers into pure dynamite. Because real ones know this is where the culture lives. Weeknights 7 to 10, Fridays bounce till 9. Only on Capital FM. We don't just play, we stay lit. Capital Sports Update, where sports is taken seriously.
Speaking of serious, Africa Games bronze medalist Cornelius Kemboi, well, he's seriously healed from the pain of missing out on last year's Paris Olympics after securing qualification, of course, for this year's World Championships. Kemboi says competing at this year's World Championships is actually a great achievement for him, which then erases the wounds, which are so hard to forget, of Paris Olympics.
Yeah, I feel so happy again to come back. Because last time I missed World Olympics, and it was so painful. Seeing people in Olympics, it was so painful. But now I've qualified, I've made it. Thank God so much.
Ha! You want painful? You want painful? Think about a heartbroken moment where you spend all your mornings with someone like Phalaris, and then one random Wednesday morning, she's disappeared. Now, boy, that is what pain is all about. Right now, he's in joyous mood because he secured his slot at the Tokyo Championships after winning the men's 5,000 meters at last week's national trials, which were held at Ulinzi Sports Complex. Now, Athletics Kenya Executive Committee member, on the other hand, Elizabeth Keitani, has called on politicians at the grassroots level to assist the establishment of what she calls more camps, which will be used to nurture emerging talents. Keitani says there's a big demand for more training camps, for which the Federation needs partners in order to establish as many as possible around the country.
As Youth Development Committee, we are planning to get other partners, to get sponsors to support us, because we see that everybody wants a camp in this area. So we are asking also our honorable members of parliament to come forward and support this good cause, because this will really assist athletics in the country.
Absolutely. Athletics Kenya currently have 60 training camps across the country, identifying and nurturing talents during the school holidays. So parents and your children, because their future and technically the money that you will eat off them is at stake. Anyway, goalkeeper James Trafford has rejoined Manchester City from Burnley in a deal which the Clarets say is a new record fee for a British goalkeeper. City sources say the move is worth £27 million plus add-ons. That is going to take the deal above the previous record of £30 million, which Everton paid for Sunderland's Sunderland, I should say, for Pickford back in 2017. Speaking of goalkeepers, Newcastle have agreed to sign goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale from Southampton. The 27-year-old has been given permission to travel for a medical, which will take place this very day. Stand up, Newcastle fans! Yeah, they've turned their attention to Ramsdale after missing out on Trafford, who we know is going back to City. And so now they're upping their games in between the post. I can tell you a team that is not upping the game in between the post. And it's not City, but it is Manchester.
Capital Sports Update. Up to the minute sports, where sports is taken seriously. This is Capital in the Morning Breakfast Show. DJ Schwaz, Mambo Bad.
Yeah, beat Jack Clermont. Yeah. 2004. Prezzo. Okay, let's go. My fans me now up in the wall. Now up in the wall. My haters kama mnipendi. Kuleni sembe. Meza wembe na wapa life kama saida karole. Na wenye wivu wajinyonge. My fans me now up in the wall. Now up in the wall. My fans me now up in the wote. Na ma autograph mtasign siku zote. Na washukuru walioni hold down. Na kwa hii rap game sitawa let down. I promise. Me na wapa promise too. Album yangu itakuwa hits tupu. So you better act like you know. Wakiuliza nana na roga sema Prezzo. Oh really though, once again here we go. It's the Jackson knocking on your door. Na wapa vitu haters, na wapa mambo. Na wapa vidonge wakitema shauri yao. Mina count blessings zangu Joe. Na mpende msipende ndivyo ilivyo. On my two still moving on strong. Waliodhani sita make it, damn you're dead wrong. Na kama uko down basi sing my song. Kama kufloss is wrong, I can't be right. Na kama uko down basi sing along. Kama kufloss is wrong, mazee I can't be right. My fans me now up in the wall. Now up in the wall. My haters kama mnipendi. Kuleni sembe, meza wembe. Na wapa life kama saida karole. Na wenye wivu wajinyonge. My fans me now up in the wall. This is how we get down. Karibu Nairobi where we don't play. We got the mirror selling gomba every day. How many killer weekend in my city? Who on the fourth? All night long, mazay fun to the break of dawn. Shorties walking around, spotting them thongs. 5 in the morning, singing a happy song. No matter what, believe that brother in Nairobi is where you gon' find me. Wilding out and with the rest of Nairobians. Valley lounging, skylaxing. Don't matter if you're fucking like pimpin'.
Mombasani, Nairobi, yay, Prezzo. Right here on the Midweek Mixdown with DJ Schwaz, a tease to what you can expect in the next hour. It will be an opportunity for you and I to get down, whether you're in Nairobi or Mombasani. Speaking of Mombasani, you've heard Ambassador Guo Haiyan saying that she will be visiting the coast at some point because there's a whole lot of history. It's a rich cultural history, and that is connected to China from over 600 years ago. I love the history lesson that we just received there. Meanwhile, it's back to this conversation with our ambassador and Her Excellency Haiyan. I think now we can. I'm glad you enjoyed some Kenyan music, by the way. That was Prezzo
sure.
with Kenyan music. I'm glad that goes. Now, back to our discussion as we get to know you. I'm trying to pick your mind here. And one of the things that I was wondering is, both of us, both our cultures, Kenya and China, both have some rich cultural traditions. Yes. I must say China has some deeply, deeply rich cultural traditions. But Kenya has as well. Have you observed any interesting similarities or shared values between these two cultures?
Yes, there's similarities. For example, we all value the family. We people would like to share good things with family members.
Yeah.
I often see Kenyan families. They go shopping together. They do sports together, and that's very, very good. And I find that both China and Kenya, we emphasize gender equality and recognize the important role of women. I know many female friends in both countries who are very doing very good in their position in the government or in the business or in their different professionals. And I also found that both Kenyan and Chinese people are very warm and hospitable, and they're treating guests just like their family and make them feel very at home.
At home, yeah.
Yes.
Welcome at home. Yes,
Yes.
we do have that. And I know a few Chinese friends of mine, and they're also very welcoming. There's this whole come to our home, let's enjoy a meal together, sit around families, get to know each other, which is a very important aspect that, I'll say it, is not in the West. And that is some of the hardest things when you move to a country like in Europe or in the Western world. Then you have to live alone to a certain extent. People keep to themselves. And I think that's where most Kenyans or Africans struggle. Now, when you go to China, it's a very social place. Hey, how are you doing? People will check up on you. And I think that's why Kenyans are more inclined to go towards China and live there and study there and experience that. So I'm very interesting. You should have noticed that. And it's absolutely true. This year, remarkable for the development of China-Kenya relations, hasn't it been? President of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, had a successful state visit to China in April of this year. In your eyes, what is the current state of the China-Kenya relations?
I found myself very lucky. Shortly after I arrived here, I got the chance to receive the state visit by His Excellency the President. During the visit, it's a successful state visit. The two heads of state agreed to elevate our bilateral relations to a new height, to the China-Kenya community with shared future for the new era. And they agreed to create an example for the all-weather China-Africa community with shared future. I think that is a strategic choice of the two sides, in line with historical trend and the direction of our times. I think this means that the strategic mutual trust have reached to a new height, and our cooperation has been expanded in dimensions, areas, and depths. Now both sides, we are working very hard to implement the consensus, to deepen exchanges and cooperation across the various fields, including politics, economy, trade, culture, tourism, science and technology, multilateral affairs, etc., to make active efforts to build this community of shared future.
One of those fields you've just mentioned is tourism. We've just come from talking about culture, and I'd love to combine the culture and tourism because just last month we opened, or it marked the opening of the 2025 China-Kenya culture and tourism season, right? In your opinion, what's the importance of cultural and tourism exchanges between the people of China and Kenya? And I'm not talking about on the upper scale where it's government to government. I'm talking about people to people bonding between China and Kenya.
So to hold this season is among the consensus reached during this visit. And in the next few months, we will have a series of colorful events. We had already opened with a performance. And 2 weeks ago, we also received an art group from Inner Mongolia. And we are planning some other events, for example, the sports games, friendship sports games, Chinese cuisine competition, or animation exhibition. Why we are organizing this? Because although there's a long history, deep root, and solid foundation for our friendship, in fact, we're still separated by mountains, oceans, and there's still differences in our culture and tradition. So it's difficult to truly understand each other if we only rely on television, books, or social media.
True.
Yeah. So that's why we every year we will invite Kenyan friends from all walks of life to visit China, to see what China is like, to see the latest development with their own eyes, and immerse themselves in China's profound history and culture. Likewise, there's also Chinese people. They come to Kenya to work here, study here, or travel to get a better understanding of Kenya's past and the present, appreciating the natural beauty and exploring new opportunities for exchanges and cooperation. I think only through the continuous people-to-people exchanges can we deepen our mutual understanding and recognition. and strengthen the bond of friendship, to be good friends and partners who trust each other and support each other.
Absolutely. It's interesting as you were speaking, all I could remember is that some of my friends who have been to China, or some of my Chinese friends here, actually say that in China, people are actually learning Swahili. It's actually a large number of the population that is interested in learning this Swahili, learning about the culture, which is very interesting. And I know here in Kenya, the uptake of learning Mandarin is becoming bigger and bigger. It's something that I would love to, but it's not the easiest thing to learn. So yeah, it's interesting to hear you put that. And I guess that also brings us together and closer together, because then we can speak together. We understand each other's culture. It's just a great bond. I love it. I love it. Speaking of love, I love the opening ceremony of that, opening season. I was talking about the culture and tourism, and we saw wonderful performance as usual from Kenyan acrobats, right? The 40-year-long China-Kenya friendship story behind them. What is that?
It's very, really wonderful. So the performance acrobatics, the central theme of this performance was the story of a gentleman. His name is Mr. Macias Kavida. He was among 24 young Kenyans. The origin of this story. They watched the movie, The Chinese Embassy. The movie is about acrobatics. So that planted the seed in their heart. And they got the aspiration to pursue a future in acrobatics. Then after the agreement, under the agreement between the two governments, a group of young Kenyan, they were selected and sent to China to learn acrobatics in 1983. They were supposed to learn there and return to Kenya to participate in government-organized performances and promote the art of acrobatics in Kenya. So after several rounds of selection, Matthias stood out among more than 200 applicants, and the final group was 24 young men. Over the course of 2 years, they studied Chinese culture in earnest. They trained diligently, and they honed their skills and accomplished their mission. So after returning to Kenya, they fused elements of African culture with Chinese acrobatics, and they dedicated themselves to innovation and breakthrough in acrobatic arts. And they remain active. Some of them still remain active on the stage. And it is precisely through these tireless efforts of people like them, generation after generation, that our relations have accomplished remarkable achievements.
It's interesting. Culture and exchanging cultures for any, bilateral agreement for countries to get together and understand each other. That's absolutely important, because if you understand someone and know where they're from and what they're about, then it's easier to even have a relationship with them. And it seems to be growing between Kenya and China, from Confucius institutes and Chinese language classes to Chinese cultural festivals and performances in Kenya, like what we just saw. How important are these people-to-people connections in strengthening these bilateral ties that we have now?
In China, we have a saying that amity between peoples holds the key to sound state-to-state relations, and heart-to-heart communication is the foundation of people-to-people bonds. So the people-to-people exchanges, culture exchanges, serve as an important channel for mutual learning, and it's a vital bridge for sharing civilizations and culture. So I think there's many bridges. For example, you mentioned Confucius Institute. Now there's 4 Confucius Institute in Kenya, with the number of students is totally about 12,000 Kenyan students are learning Chinese. I think many people can see that they can speak Chinese, and the proficiency in Chinese help them to get some job opportunities. And also we have these exchanges between our culture groups. Every year there will be a few Chinese culture group come and perform here. And also the Chinese Embassy, we will organize some events. For example, the Chinese New Year Gala, or we call it Spring Festival Temple Fair. Rightly here, the 2 rivers, already twice. I think we will continue that practice.
Yeah.
Next year, the Chinese New Year will be in February, and it will be the year of the horse. Yeah, and also tourism is also a bridge. As Kenya has unique culture and landscape, there's more and more Chinese tourists coming. Last year, I got the data. Last year, Chinese tourists visiting Kenya has exceeded 90,000, with an increase of 47%. So I hope there can be more Chinese tourists coming. And during the state visit, the 2 heads of state has called for respect for diversity of world civilizations, enhancing inter-civilizational people-to-people exchange, and advocating equality, mutual learning, dialogue, and inclusiveness among civilizations. So I believe as the cultural exchanges between the 2 countries become more robust, there will be further consolidation of the exchanges between our peoples.
Absolutely. Speaking of exchanges, I think, and numbers in terms of tourism, I think of 90,000, I'm assuming that number would be insanely bigger when it comes to Kenyan students who have studied in China, and many Chinese nationals who are living and working here in Kenya. That exchange must be crazy. But how has this exchange shaped the mutual understanding between the people of Kenya and the people of China?
So nowadays, people have many ways to learn about the other countries, thanks to the rapid development of the internet and social media. We have another saying that hearing something 100 times isn't as good as seeing it once. So China provides scholarships to Kenyan students, and many Kenyan students also choose to study in China at their own expenses. I know some Kenyan students who return to Kenya after completing their study. Some become business leaders, some work in the government, and some become doctors, teachers. Last year, some Kenyan students who were studying in China, they wrote to our president, and our president replied, encouraging them to study hard and contribute to our friendship. I know a Kenyan friend who studied in China, got a PhD there, and married his Chinese wife. And now they are settled in Nairobi. They're spreading the seeds of friendship in their respective fields. And they have a beautiful daughter, and their daughter can perform Chinese dances and can play traditional Chinese music instruments, and has performed many times. So I think, yes, you mentioned there's also many Chinese. They're here. They are doing the work in construction of roads and bridges, scientific research, etc. And they are making their own contribution. So we will make active efforts to create more opportunities for our peoples to visit each other and to deepen our mutual understanding.
And business as well. China supporting major infrastructure projects in Kenya, right?
Yes.
I mean, standard gauge railway, the Nairobi Expressway. Are there any other major areas of cooperation on the horizon between China and Kenya?
Yeah, so I'm happy to see that the SGR, the expressway, they are not just the infrastructure there. During the construction and the operation, many jobs have been created, and many people have been trained. The efficiency of transportation has been increased much, and it's great. It's great of great significance to promoting the economic and social development of Kenya, or even in the East Africa, and it's good for the industrialization of the region. During the state visit, both sides have agreed to promote integrated infrastructure and industry. Happy that since I came here, I've visited some industrial parks such as Asi River and Tatu City. I'm happy to see there's already Chinese investment in manufacturing, steel, vehicle assembly, etc. I think there's great potential for cooperation in areas like agri-processing, green development, and we are encouraging Chinese companies to invest in new energy, e-commerce. I believe our cooperation has a brighter future.
Absolutely. I've been really nice, and it's because you're such a nice person from the moment I met you at the marathon until now. I think you're an amazing ambassador for us to have, and we're very honored. But I do have to ask a rather tricky question, a difficult question to some people, a lot of people, and I'm talking about financial advisors, people from the West, people here in Kenya, but people in Africa believe that the Chinese investment in Kenya is will or has already increased Kenya's economic burden and is what they term, and I quote, a debt trap. What do you think?
I know some people have this concern, but I like to clarify that there is no so-called debt trap between China and Kenya. I like to share my understanding. Some points. First, any economic activity requires funds. And many countries, including developed countries, they are use financing as an important means to raise funds for the development. Rational and appropriate financing is conducive to economic and social development. Arbitrarily highlighting the negative effect while ignoring its positive role in economic and social progress goes against economic common sense. Secondly, China provides loans only upon requests, never forced any country to borrow. All finance provided by China to Kenya is based on the development project under Kenya's 2030 vision. China was not the only country that Kenya has engaged with before the implementation of these projects. And China-Kenya Investment and Finance Corporation has promoted Kenya's economic and social development as well as people's well-being. And thirdly, China has never been Kenya's largest creditor, according to the data by National Treasury of Kenya.
Yeah.
Multilateral creditors amount for about 55%, and commercial creditors for 23% of Kenya's external debt, and China taking up only 13%. And China is mainly provide concessional loans with the interest rate below 3%. So the claim of China loans have caused Kenya's debt problem is completely false, and it's unfair to portray the debt earned to Western countries as investment, while the debt earned to China as a trap. Fourthly, China has never attached any political condition to the loan agreement or pressed any country to repay the debt. Not a single country has even fallen into debt problem due to financing cooperation with China so far. And with Chinese funding, Chinese company has participated in the development of infrastructure. I got some figures. Up to now, we have helped African countries build or upgrade over 10,000 kilometers of railway, nearly 100,000 kilometers of road, nearly 1,000 bridges, and nearly 100 ports, along with many other large-scale power facility, hospitals, schools. And by this cooperation, these projects have created more than 1.1 million jobs in Africa. Finally, the last point I want to emphasize is that while the debt issue deserves attention, but it should not be politicized or used as a weapon by one country against another. I hope international community will jointly shoulder its responsibility to help African countries ease their debt burden, eliminate poverty and underdevelopment, and achieve sustainable development. I also hope our Kenyan friends will remain vigilant against this debt trap narrative and see through its harm and work with China to safeguard the overall interest of China, Kenya, and even China-Africa friendly cooperation.
Absolutely. We are just about to delve into the news, but you'll have to bear with us because we are going to run over by just a few more minutes. Dave is already standing by, but I have two more questions that I feel, Ambassador Haiyan, you should possibly answer. One of which is China recently announcing plans to eliminate tariffs on African imports. What's the broader motivation behind this move, and how does it actually reflect China's long-term vision in its partnership with Africa?
Yes, last month, the ministerial meeting of coordinators on implementation of the follow-up action of FOCAC, the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, was held in Changsha, Hunan province of China, and our President Xi Jinping wrote a letter of congratulation to this conference, and he announced in this letter that China would implement zero tariff measures for 100% tariff lines for products from 53 African countries that have diplomatic relations with China, and at the same time we will provide more convenience for the least developed countries in Africa to export to China. And China will negotiate agreement of economic partnership for shared development. And the implementation of this treatment is not only a concrete step taken by China to expand voluntary opening up, but also it's a manifestation of China's effort to deliver the outcome of FOCAC Beijing Summit and building high-quality, all-weather China-Africa community with shared future. Now, amid this rampant unilateralism and protectionism, China is determined to respond to challenges and inject stability and positive energy to the global trade. The major move conforms to the trend of economic globalization, will address the aspiration of African countries and comply with WTO rules. So we will work with African countries, including Kenya, to advance the negotiation in accordance with the principles of equal consultation, mutual benefit, and win-win cooperation. The consultations will cover areas such as trade facilitation, inclusive growth, more resilient supply chain, and new growth. I believe these zero tariff measures will create more opportunities for African countries with China's big market and through the achievement of Chinese modernization.
I know I said two questions, but I have to ask the final two questions. Which Kenyan sectors or products, because we can't fail to ask this, stand to benefit most from this tariff-free access to the Chinese market? And how can small businesses from this country tap into this opportunity?
China's preferential tariff policy has undergone a gradual process and finally formed a comprehensive and zero tariff framework of open trade. The full implementation of this zero tariff will greatly boost the scale of African export to China, will address the trade deficit between African countries and China. I think, however, the expansion of Africa's export to China depends on the adjustment of product structures and the development of their competitive edges. I think the goal of these measures is to improve the trade structure and support the process of African industrialization and economic diversification. And China is importing from Kenya. There's many feature products from Kenya to China. For example, coffee and tea and fruits, flowers. And I think the key, how to seize the opportunity, I think the key is to accurately assess the preferences of Chinese consumers to produce marketable products and ensure that the products meet Chinese standards, including inspection, quarantine, as well as health and safety requirements. And also, many Chinese consumers prefer online shopping, and I think Kenya enterprises can also leverage cross-border e-commerce platforms. And every year, China is hosting many expos like International Import Expo. I think Kenya companies can also actively participate in these expos. From long-term perspective, it's recommended that Kenya companies add more value to their products through more sophisticated processing.
Absolutely. You hearing a lot of commotion in the background. There's a drill that's going on.
Oh, it's a drill.
Yes, we're very safe, Ambassador.
Okay.
Yes, so we're finally, Ambassador, it's great news to hear that about small businesses, because when one door closes, another one opens. So Tanzania, Suluhu, yay, at least business can focus on China. I just want to finally ask you, Your Excellency, looking to the future, what's your vision for the next decade of the China-Kenya relations?
I have my strong confidence on that because China and Kenya are both important developing countries, important members of the Global South. We have treated each other as equals and supported each other. We're good friends of mutual trust and good partners for win-win cooperation. We have maintained close high-level exchanges and deepened our mutual trust and achieved fruitful results in Belt and Road cooperation. So I think China-Kenya relations is at the forefront of China-Africa cooperation. So I think looking to the future, now the world is far from tranquil. There's many risks, challenges, and uncertainties. China stands ready to work with Kenya to build on this, build on the achievements we have get. We would like to firmly support each other in pursuing the development paths suited to our national conditions. I think we both oppose external interference. We would like to strengthen high-level exchanges and strategic communication. We would like to deepen practical cooperation and enhance the multilateral coordination and safeguard the solidarity and interest of the Global South together, to work together to improve the global governance and make the international order more just and equitable.
Absolutely. We've been hanging out with Ambassador Guo Haiyan, who is the ambassador of China to Kenya since January in the country, doing hiking, experiencing the culture, and looking forward to enjoying her time, not just hiking, but also at one point visiting Mombasa. She started off by speaking some Swahili, and I think that's how I'll finish this one off. So first and foremost, thank you very much for your time and for indulging in spite of what was going on behind there. The focus was absolutely amazing, and we will be hoping to have you back sometime soon.
Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Karibu sana. And I know I'll massacre it, but I'll try anyway.
Very good.
It's
Thank you.
horrible,
Thank
but
you.
yes, hope to see you soon. Thank
see
you, and
you.
hope to see you soon is what I completely massacred in Chinese. Meanwhile, thank you very much, Ambassador,
Thank you,
once
thank
again,
you.
and we'll be seeing her soon, Ambassador Guo Haiyan, right here on Capital in the Morning. And now, Davis will probably want to kill me, but yeah, we're in that moment where we can have